Hey, we did it. We did it again, boys and girls.
Mm.
I accidentally. Oh, I think that was the boss. The red elite marker, I think that was the boss. But, yeah. So, that was Halo 2. Are you ready for the questions?
I suppose so.
Alright, what was your favorite part? Single part.
You see, I was really hoping for like a big climactic ending, kind of like the first game had, and I feel like most of the climax of the story was in the cutscene instead of the actual gameplay, which is a little unfortunate. But I think my favorite gameplay part was when they first introduced the big robot spiders throughout the city. That was pretty interesting when it was climbing over things. I still think that was probably my favorite gameplay moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
What would you say was. I would also agree with that. That level is
Hmm.
yeah. Um,
I think,
that overall level, and then the last one where it's like on your side and it's like shooting at shit. Oh my god, that's really cool.
I think my second
What we just
favorite
did.
like set piece would probably have been like the underwater section. I really like that a lot too.
Hmm. I like that one a lot. It wasn't as good because I wasn't playing in remastered for most of it,
Well,
but definitely
yeah, I
yeah.
was playing a remaster. Definitely, I saw the old graphics. It's kind of really hard to tell what's really going on.
But with the new graphics, yeah, they added a whole new level down there.
With
It's really
with the new
cool.
graphics, they looked very nice. So those are my
Hmm.
my my two favorite moments.
What would you say was your least favorite single part set piece type thing?
Well, I feel like my least favorite part of the game, probably unsurprisingly, was the the parts that had us wait to kill a whole bunch of enemies and then move on. I remember there was one part
Mm-hmm.
really early
Mm-hmm.
on where we were at a base and we were waiting for a door to explode or whatever. But the one that I thought was the most
Oh
annoying
yeah,
was
that
probably the
building.
elevator.
Mm-hmm.
That one, that
Yes,
one was
yes,
probably my
that
least
one
favorite
was
was the
kind of a
elevator.
drag.
'Cause the elevator just kind of kept going and going and going.
But eventually we made it to the bottom.
Eventually it got there, but it
Yeah,
took a while.
I would also say that the repeated sections from Halo 1 are gone, but they are replaced with sections where you just kind of have to hold a single area for a while, and I think it does kind of drag a little bit. Here's a new question that I kind of wanted to ask. What was your favorite weapon?
Mm, I feel like all the weapons are viable. Definitely the ones that felt the most powerful, uh, like you said, was like the carbine. The carbine's a good one because it has that accuracy and the power. It feels like a good, nice weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like an SMG or like a the rifles, which
Mm-hmm.
you had to
I
definitely load a lot more bullets in,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, the battle. I like the battle rifle and I like the carbine because they're basically like the same thing. I like the carbine just a little bit more because it's
The
single shot
the,
and it doesn't run out as quickly.
the carbine's like probably like the best like overall like rounded weapon, for like range and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about like for
Mm-hmm.
close range or long range, obviously there's more tailored options. And then
Yeah,
obviously the cool big rocket launchers are always nice too, but the carbine's like
yeah. We
nice,
barely even got to use the
well
sniper
rounded.
rifle.
The sniper rifle never felt like it was really that useful because nothing we never really needed to snipe anything. We
Yeah,
were always kind of not that far away from them.
yeah. This game did not really have much sniper rifle. What was your least favorite weapon?
Uh, the ones that were probably the worst, or the ones that I liked the least, I can't remember all of them, but definitely the pistols. The pistols just kind of felt a little
Yeah,
underwhelming.
there was a big downgrade between the Halo 1 human pistol and the Halo 2 human pistol. Uh,
Like,
it's
if it was more of
it's a different role, but yeah, I know what you mean.
it felt like it felt a lot weaker, and I think it was because the pistol in this game is more like more like a regular pistol than like a hand cannon type of thing, right?
Yeah.
If it was a hand cannon, I really enjoy those in games usually, but they didn't really have that type of thing here.
Yeah. What I will tell you is it still has a one-shot headshot potential. Um, but obviously you can't zoom in, and it's not quite as accurate, and it doesn't quite have the range. But if you dual wield plasma pistol and you have the pistol with it, you just charge up the plasma pistol, let it go, pop the shield, and then one instant headshot kills. It's the lowest time to kill in any Halo game, but the pistol is a lot worse and a lot more inaccurate, and by itself is completely unviable. And I would totally agree with that. That I would say that and the plasma pistol are my least favorite. Um,
Yeah, both pistols probably not. Yeah, put them pretty low on the list.
mhm.
They all have their moments,
Um,
though.
yeah, true. What would you say was your favorite vehicle?
Mm.
I noticed you didn't really get to use the tank.
I haven't really been able to use the tank in either game,
Yeah,
but
I
I
offered.
assume the tank is cool just because it's a tank. But all the vehicles were like no vehicle really stood out to me more than the other. I do tend to like the ghosts or like the banshee. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The ones that I can boost and that have a pretty nice fire rate.
Yeah, I was gonna let you drive the Spectre because it's kind of like the Warthog and the Ghost had a love child
Mm.
because you can boost with it and it has the gun on the back.
I think.
Sadly,
Oh yeah, we did
it
use that one for a little bit, but
yeah.
it's all right. Yeah.
Did you like the? You didn't get to use the Gosshog. The Gosshog is great. It's yeah. You missed out on a lot of good vehicles, but I think my favorite new vehicle is probably the Spectre, and I'm kind of sad that it doesn't really come back. Um, my favorite returning vehicle is probably the tank. Um, they made a big change to the Ghost and the Banshee by giving them boosts, and that is pretty welcome. Um, what was your favorite mission, just overall?
Um. Hmm. I remember there's a couple that I feel like were pretty well-rounded missions, right? Obviously, the ones
Mm-hmm.
with like set pieces, I probably enjoy a little bit more. But I can't remember. There was an elevator mission where we had to cut wires or whatever.
That one is the Oracle. Yes, that
That
one.
that one had a cool set piece that I really liked. But I think that pretty much all the ones that had like the really nice set pieces, the big spider robot, the underwater one, that one.
Mm-hmm.
The set pieces I feel like really made the level great, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like definitely, yeah. The one where we drop in with the pods and we kaboom, boom, boom, and we like fuck up all the dudes at the ruins, and then we take the tank and or we take the warthog and then I took the tank and you took the warthog or you took a ghost and went ahead, and then we did the underwater. Yeah, Delta Halo is that mission. Yeah, Delta Halo's really good. Um, the Arbiter and the Oracle are really good. The ones in the on the Forerunner facility on the gas planet in the storm. That one was those two are some of my favorites. Metropolis is the one with the big giant robot where you're not fighting with it, where you're fighting against it. That one's really fun as well. A lot of good set pieces on that. If I had to choose a favorite, I would say and the original, the first level, obviously Cairo Station. I love Cairo Station. I would say probably my favorite level is. I would say it is Cairo Station, honestly, because I can just do it really fast. I can do Metropolis really fast too, as because I think that was the shortest mission time. That was under 8 minutes of game time, so we beat that one really fast. But yeah, either Cairo Station or Metropolis, followed closely by the Arbiter, the Oracle, and um, Delta Halo. Also, I think it is really interesting that you said that the one where we cut the chords was one of your favorite levels
I think
because
I just like the set
we
piece and things.
yeah
I remember the set pieces more than I remember the other parts of the levels. Obviously, 'cause
hmm
I don't really remember a lot of what leads up to the set piece or what happens after the set piece. I just kind of remember the set piece, right?
yeah
I think
I just
that
think it's really
my
interesting that your
overall
favorite set piece and your least favorite set piece were in the same level. I think that's really interesting.
the the best level in my opinion probably was probably the underwater one. Like I like the cutscene at the end too, where it kind of like leads to like Master Chief kind of just disappearing for a while.
Oh, that I think technically that's two different levels.
Really?
The underwater one.
Is that not
So
the
the
cutscene at the end of the level? I thought.
no, so the underwater
I thought
one.
that was the same level. Yeah.
So Delta Halo goes from I think it goes from. I am having trouble because we played this a couple days ago and I don't remember where it ends because there's like a mid-roll cutscene
Hmm.
in the next level too, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I think Delta Halo ends after the underwater. You go in and um you know what? Now I don't remember off the top of my head and I kind of feel like a dumbass. No, I think it is the Prophet of Regret one that goes underwater. And yeah, you might be right.
Well, I'm not too familiar with the levels, uh, or with a lot of what happens in the levels, but I can tell you that they're all pretty nice. They're all pretty good.
All
They
right.
all get a thumbs up, for the most part.
What did this game improve on from the last one?
Uh, I'm not really sure if this is like a setting that we could have changed, but the music balance much better.
It was not. There is no in-game setting in any Halo to change the music.
Okay, well, so yeah, the music balance was a little bit better. They definitely didn't overpower uh the regular gameplay like sounds and all that. I feel like the music also was a lot more merited in a lot of parts. There probably was
Uh
still a
huh.
couple more parts where I felt like the music was still a little unmerited, but it matched a lot more of the vibes than the first game where it was epic music all the time for no reason it felt like, you know?
Mhm. Um, I don't know if you noticed, but the cutscenes are definitely a lot better because they
Oh
weren't
yeah, the
really.
redone
Yeah,
cutscenes
they're
are
animated.
definitely much better than like
Even just the
the
normal
in graphic
cutscenes.
cutscenes, that they had in the in gameplay cutscenes they had in the first game.
Yes, the in gameplay cutscenes from the first game were really bad. I would say
Hmm.
the the original cutscenes for this I didn't show them because I feel like they wouldn't be done justice. Like they wouldn't be doing justice to how it felt. The graphics don't feel like they aged that well. So
Well,
that's why I played in the original, but I feel like the cutscenes have aged well enough to the point where it's like I want to play them to so that you guys understand how the story feels to me.
hmm hmm
But like the gameplay, I always see it in original graphics. But I will say, yeah, they definitely improved on the cutscenes quite a bit, and they improved on the story.
uh
I don't think there's a single feature
music
that was not
cutscenes,
better.
and then there was obviously all the small changes like the boost to the vehicles and
The
adding more
physics changes.
weapons, the the vehicle not killing you instantly type of thing. Just a lot of the small things kind of all together
Mm-hmm.
made this game a lot more enjoyable. I didn't have to worry about all those small little things bugging me, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
Overall, I feel
Yeah.
like it's every section kind of got a little bit of an upgrade. I can't think of anything that got worse.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, overall just an improvement.
Yeah, I would say bigger, better, longer. Uh, Halo 2, I would say is the. A lot of people say Halo 1 is the perfect game, and they say Halo 2 is a step down. And maybe it's because we're still playing on easy.
Uh, it
I would
depends
definitely say that if we were
on.
playing on legendary, like from legendary in the first game to legendary in the second game, there's like a really 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 big difference, and it's really really bad because jackal snipers, one shot headshot, they don't miss. You have to know where they are. You have to kill them, and if you die in single player, it sends you back to the beginning of the mission. There's a permanent iron skull, and if you die in co-op, either one of you, it resets to checkpoint.
I
So
I think
yeah.
that I'm sure people have their preferences to the games, right?
Mhm.
Based on the story of both games, I feel like the story. I don't think there's any one story I prefer more than the other. They're both pretty decent stories. I definitely
I would say
felt
there was a lot
like
more
the
like
climax in the
characters in
first
this.
game felt a little bit bigger than the climax in this game, or like the ending. You know what I mean? In the first game, it felt a little bit
Yeah.
bigger than the ending in this game, because the ending in this game kind of
Uh
is more of just foreshadowing for a sequel instead
all
of.
right. Yeah. Um there's actually some background story behind that, and I'm actually going to go into it right now, but obviously people more familiar with the game than you, cuz you are a newcomer to this particular game. This development was hell. Like I went into it a couple missions ago, but oh my god, it was so hell. Um, there was a bit of a time crunch, but not really. It was mostly just we want to do all this shit, and uh, we've got 3 years to do it. Let's just work really hard at it. And they wanted to make this the last Halo. They wanted to make it so that they didn't need a Halo 3. So that cutscene was supposed to be like 2/3 of the way through the game. The game was supposed to be like 20, 30 missions long. There was supposed to be way more on Earth. They did an E3 demonstration where they got the voice of Sergeant Johnson to be like, "Oh, this ain't no smoke and mirrors bullshit." But that's exactly what it was. It was smoke and mirrors bullshit because the Xbox couldn't handle it. It was just so intense. And so they were like, "All right, well, we can't do it. So we're going to have to downsize what's on Earth. We're going to have to rewrite the whole campaign. Um, we're going to have to cut it short by quite a bit, and we're gonna have to make another sequel, and we're just gonna have to hope that this one comes out and it's good enough." And they did, and I personally I think it's amazing.
I do think
I think it's
that
one of the greatest
knowing
games
that,
ever.
like, it makes sense because I do feel like the story kind of does feel like a little incomplete because of that, you know? And I guess that's
I
kind of
feel
the
like it has
point.
an Empire Strikes Back ending.
Uh,
Like
I'm not too familiar with the
I know
films
you're not.
either, but
Yeah, I know you're not all that big on Star Wars, but
yeah.
it ends with the cut with the cliffhanger, and it definitely takes a cue from Empire Strikes Back by doing that. But yeah, I think definitely if you take into account that they were just so limited by the technology and by the time limit that they couldn't they physically could not fit more game onto that disc if they tried. I think it's understandable. But what would you want improved from this game? What do you think this game did bad that you want Halo 3 to improve on?
Uh, I can't think of anything specifically. This game was definitely a lot better, in a lot of aspects, and I feel like it's acceptable. There there probably can be improvements made to just like quality of life changes. Like
Mhm.
I can't think of anything specifically, but like maybe like uh can't can't I can't really can't think of anything. I do appreciate more like this game didn't feel like I got lost in it quite as much as the first game, which definitely
Mm-hmm.
was very nice. Because I remember the first game there was some hallways that were like mazes,
Mm.
and if they keep improving
Yeah.
it and making it more linear and more like more
Tight and
apparent
focused.
what you're where you're supposed to go, I'd appreciate that because I don't think there was really a point in this game that it was like super bad. Like remember the flood mission in the first game that had like so many
Yes.
hallways? It was terrible. In this game, they had a couple of offshoots that didn't really go anywhere, but it wasn't nearly as bad.
And
Um,
they had like guns in them and like yeah, like hidden shit, like guns and ammo
but
and
if
all
they
that.
keep improving on like making it a little bit more easy to kind of know where you're going, straightforward, just to kind of improve on things they've already been improving on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say there's anything new that they could probably do to change it that I could think of, but just more of what they're already doing. That's pretty much all I could say.
What did so this game that you kind of wanted to what in this game do you think they should bring back for Halo 3? I know you noticed like oh it's tighter and it's easier to tell where you're going. So I reckon you want that brought back. What else do you think was done well that you want brought back?
Mm, uh, I guess kind of a little bit like more diversity. Kind of like how from the first game to the second game they added more diversity in weaponry, vehicles. I kind of want to see some new stuff, more variety, kind of make the game a little bit more interesting in those aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely from the first game to the second game, I definitely enjoyed the improved selection of weapons, vehicles, the fact that I got to play as a different character, things like that, you know. Things
Mm-hmm.
that make the game quite not as boring and stale and samey.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So more things like that. Obviously, set pieces are another thing that I really personally enjoy. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
memorable moments in the game. In the From the first game to the second game, I can definitely remember a lot more in the second game. And it's probably because it's longer too, but it also just felt like it happened more often. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, just like I said, just keep improving some more of those things that they already did from the first game to the second game, and just do even more for the third game, right?
Mm-hmm. And last question. Overall rating out of 10. I want to know your number
Do
cuz you
you
gave
remember my first
Halo
game?
1 you gave Halo 1 a 3.
Three. I I feel like I definitely felt like a three at the time for Halo One. Uh, looking
Would you
back
like
on
to change
it,
it?
like having not played it in a while, I could change it, but I feel like the number I gave before was real genuine to how I felt at that moment. So I want to
Mhm.
keep that number just because I wanna be genuine to how I felt when I played that game, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But this game I definitely felt was a lot better, and maybe I'm judging this a little bit more generously than I did the first game as well. Uh, I'm trying not to compare it as much to like more modern games. If I compared it purely just to Halo 1, I'd say that probably like a 7, 7, 8, 7, 8, you know what I mean? It's not like super duper amazing, but it's a lot better, right?
All right, so you would give it like a 7.5?
I no, no, I said like 6 or 7, I think, not 7. Did I say 7, 7 or 8? I meant 6 or
Yeah, you
7.
said 7 or 8.
I
You
meant
said 7 or 8.
I meant 6 or 7. My bad.
All right, so like a 6.5.
Like 6.5, yeah.
That
Like,
is more than double what you said for the last one. I'm.
but but if I but like if I compare it, because remember after the end of stream, I'm not sure if you remember, we talked about how I had kind of two different ratings. One rating for kind of forgiving it for how well it like what time it came out as, and how well it
Mm-hmm.
held up in the modern day. That's kind of my rating for of the time, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
My rating for like more modern day, if I compared it to like a more modern story, a more modern thing, it's still not quite there in the level of how much, the story really hits for me, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
I definitely found
uh,
myself getting like really like lost in the story because the story I feel like didn't capture my attention as much
mm-hmm.
as other games have. And in that aspect, it'd probably be uh if that one was a 3, probably like a 5, right?
So you're saying this one
So
now is a 5.
yeah, so the first game was a
All right.
3 modern day. This one's like a 5 modern day. And then that one, I think I said like 6 for, if I try not to be biased. In this game, I would say 7 if I'm trying not to be biased.
All right. I'm gonna leave your overall score. I'm tracking these. I think the last game I gave it a 7 out of 10 because there were like 3 missions that I didn't like.
I want to
In
give
this one,
Yeah, if you want to round all my scores, it's because it's two different scores. It's first game was
I'm
3
just marking.
and
I'm
6, and I
marking the
think this
ones that
one's
you're
5 and
saying are.
7.
I'm marking the score of what you think modern,
Modern.
like how you think they hold up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay. If it's what I hold up, it's 3 and then 5. I think is what I said.
All right.
Hopefully not
I
better
think
though.
this game. I think this game might be like an 8.5 or a 9. I really love this game. This is this was my first entry into the series that I played all the way through.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me and because I don't have the nostalgia glasses on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm just not as into like this type of genre and story where it's like
Yeah,
super
I know
duper
what you mean.
sci-fi, and that might be part of the reason why it doesn't hit with me as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's still a good game. I wouldn't mind playing it. It's just not a game that I feel like I'm super passionate about, right?
Yeah, I feel like in, but yeah, I feel like I'm gonna give this like an 8.5. I'll say final score 8.75 from K Thugston. I really love this game. I really do. I think it actually holds up pretty well. I think there's good story. I think there's good atmosphere. I think there's good plot. I think there's good characters. I can't think of a single thing that they didn't improve from Halo 1. It's shit. I really love this game. And I love Halo 3 a lot too. And oh my god, yeah, it's a really good game. I hate to be a simp for it, but holy shit.
All right, I'm
I
back.
really love this game.
My
Uh
headset died there for a second, but I'm back. Uh,
huh. You didn't miss much. It's just me simping for this game.
yeah. I was
Just me being down atrocious for this game.
I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna give my score one final change. This is the final one though, right?
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
okay.
For the modern one, for how good it holds
I
up.
I don't feel quite a 6, but I'll give it 5.5. You know what I mean?
5.5?
So 3
5.5?
to a
Very respectable.
5.5. You know what I mean?
For Halo 2 or Halo 1?
The first one's a 3, and the second one's a 5.5.
Okay. All right. So 3 to 5.5, that's a good increase.
Yeah.
Um for me, the first one is a solid respectable 7. Um this one 8.75. I really love this game. I can't. There are things that I would say could be improved, but I really don't know them. There's one thing that I don't like about the Master Chief Collection is that you can't change. Is that I can't make the cutscenes be in remastered and the gameplay be in classic. So but that's just an issue with Master Chief Collection. That's not an issue with Halo 2. Halo 2 is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I I I know it's not perfect, but I can't think of anything bad that I would say about it. So it's like there are some forgettable missions, like the two in the middle where the Arbiter is going to get the index. Those two missions are kind of boring, to be honest. I don't really like those.
I feel
I
like
feel like
for
you
me,
could cut those out.
uh, I feel like for me, the story in the games is probably like the best part of the games, right?
Hmm.
And the gameplay, I just feel like it's more of the same a lot of the time.
Hmm.
So definitely, I'm more excited to see what they do with the gameplay because I already feel like they already have a good idea of how to make a good story, right?
Hmm.
I'm just there's not much you can really do. It's a first person shooter, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm just
I
kind of tired of the whole, kind of used to it. So these things kind of don't
yeah.
impress me as much anymore.
Oh shit. I can think of the one thing that I really don't like is the melee in this game feels really not powerful. And in uh Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4, Halo 5, melee is a lot better. And yeah, so those are like the only that's the one feature that I use it a lot in the other games. So I'm really missing its absence here. It doesn't have a weight to it, and it doesn't have all that much power behind it. So it's but that's the one thing I would change. That's it.
Yeah.
Halo Halo 2 8.75 in my book. Really good. Really holds up. And yeah, I guess we're going to have to figure out how you feel about Halo 3
Yeah, like this
next
game
time.
definitely, like I said, for me, it wasn't like the best game ever, but it definitely did not have nearly as many negative things I could say about it as the first game, which is why I kind of just gave that middle of the road kind of rating.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not a bad game, it's just not the best game, right? It's a decent game,
Yeah.
middle of the road.
Um
So I feel good about that.
yeah, so I guess we're going to move on to Halo 3 next time. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure to follow if you're on Twitch. Um, make sure to follow my Twitch even if you're on YouTube. Make sure to follow Mercy_Daddy on Twitch. Um, get him to affiliate so he can start actually making money off of uh, playing video games with me like a dickhead.
Yes,
And
that would be
yeah.
the dream right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.